What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at now. So you clearly see the title of the broadcast. So we're going to check this out here. So apparently a lawyer is, explaining some of the things that he's seeing in prenups and stuff like that are totally going to blow your mind. It's crazy out here, the demands. So we're going to dive off into this. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
What prenup demand instantly led to a couple breaking up?
Ooh, that's a good one. I just had one recently. Hopefully they're not a viewer. I had a young guy in finance in his late 20s, early 30s. Good net worth for that age, maybe like 2-3 million, which for that age is very impressive. The first million's the hardest. And I don't know what she was trying to do, but she laid out a list of, first of all, her lawyer called me, and it's someone I've dealt with before. And he said, I just want you to know this list isn't coming from me. And I said, wow, we're off to a bad start. And he said, yeah. He said, you're going to want to put me on mute so you can laugh out loud when you hear this list. He goes, some of it, I think your guy should just concede, but some of it is ambitious. And I said, and you're using ambitious as a term because you're a gentleman, but really what you want to say is that like it's batshit crazy, And sure enough, it was. Like she wanted a personal monthly allowance for cosmetic procedures like Botox and lashes and hair and nails, and she wanted a certain number of vacations per year that had to be a certain level, like the flights either had to be private or first class. She was basically like saying, you have to maintain this incredibly high level of providing for me.
Jesus, man, incredibly high level. In a prenup, listen, look, man. She wanted all that after she had divorced this dude. This is crazy. Listen, look, ladies, you don't get that type of treatment after you leave your husband. And I find this situation amazing, how people have such asinine thought processes to think that they're going to be able to, to think that they're going to be able to, just demand these things after you want to leave. You want the same life that you had when you was with your husband or spouse, or whatever y'all new age people want to call it, and you want to have him still pay for you the rest of your life. No, ma'am, you need to move on. You need to move on. Go ahead on. And I'm not saying, in a divorce and stuff like that. That's what prenups are for. If you to iron out, at the event divorce happens, you'll be able to hash out who gets what, how much this and that and everything like that. I get that part. But this bitch was talking about jets and all this jets. You still want this man to fly you around in a jet when you no longer his wife. Man, what? Man, you got to be losing it.
And I listened to this list, and it was preposterous. I mean, she wanted a certain amount for clothing. She wanted a certain amount if she got pregnant, there would be a certain number of vacations that she got, and then she'd get a push present for each baby, meaning that like she would get like a gift, like a jewelry. It had to be like a minimum value of $100,000. It was crazy.
A push present.
A push present. I've never even heard of that.
So we're here now with this push present shit. Ladies, this is highly disrespectful. This is highly disrespectful. Not only to your husband, also to your child. So you mean to tell me it's not only good enough that you want to celebrate the fact that you are able to bring human life on this planet, and that's a blessing within itself, because so many women cannot. And it does disturb women that actually can't do this naturally. And it makes them look at women like y'all a certain type of way. So, and another fact, this push present thing, this is some new age crap. Technically, we all know this is the truth. This is some new age stuff. Throughout the history of humanity and women giving birth, women have never gotten presents and stuff like that for giving birth. Up until recent times, I want to say mid 20th century, something like that, women started having all these parties and all this other stuff and crazy weddings and things like that. And it escalated to the point now where some of these women are asking for push presents, which makes no astronomical sense. So what about the dude? Does he get a skeet present? I mean, for skeeting you, for giving you the baby? I mean, I'm just asking questions here. I'm just asking logical fucking questions, real questions. I'm not even trying to be funny. You know, it makes no sense to me. You know, women think that they deserve all this crazy ass crap on this planet nowadays, and it's disturbing and it's disgusting. On top of that, that you won't cherish the moment, that you need something extravagant to cherish the moment that you are able to give life to another human being, and you just diminish it down to whatever it is that you think you ought to have for giving, for, you know, having your husband's child or whatever. Man, this is ridiculous here. This is ridiculous.
It's a thing, apparently. I actually had not heard the term, but I'm 53, so there's a lot of stuff you young people say. Like, I didn't know what Riz was either. And I rely on the young people who work in my office. And I was like, do you know what a push present is? And one of the girls up front was like, yeah, it's a present that you get like right before you're about to have a baby. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, oh, because you're going to push out the baby. It's like a gift. And I'm like, isn't pushing out the baby the gift? And they were like, no. It's like a gift. It's like a piece of jewelry you get or whatever. Like, look.
So no. The having the child is not the gift anymore. And then y'all wondering why God is
I don't think there's anything unromantic. I think if you are having a baby with a woman and you buy her a piece of jewelry like right before she has the baby and say like, oh, I wanted you to remember this lovely moment in our relationship before you had the baby. And whenever you look at it, I want you to think about the fact, oh, that's the present you gave me before our kid was born. Like, that's very sweet. That's lovely. But like to give it a name and put a financial demand on it, like, man, you're really like, you're taking something kind of sweet and turning it into something. It'd be like me saying like, I wish to have sex at least this many times per week and oral sex at least this many times per week. Like, it's like, okay, guys, we all know what we want in this economy of this relationship, but like you're saying it out loud and putting it on paper. So I was worried because...
Can you make sexual demands in a prenup?
You can put it in a prenup, yeah. You can put it in it, yeah. It's not enforceable by the state, meaning they can't be like, you owe him this many blowjobs. But you can put it in there that says that there would be penalties in the event that there was a lack of sex. Or, and I've seen some people do it. I discourage people from putting those kinds of clauses in, but people do it all the time. People put...
Okay, so let's just go here now. You know, the asinine of this situation. I guarantee you some of these lawyers out here be amazed behind the scenes, but you know, they can't just really tell their clients this shit and stuff, that they are actually appalled by some of the demands that they be putting in these prenups. Because he seemed like he was really disturbed that this woman would have all this crazy ass crap to write down on this piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? It's because obviously he was the lawyer of the dude. So the guy that called him up, which was her lawyer, gave this list of just unrealistic demands. And that's even why the other lawyer was like, man, you got to put me on mute because I know you're going to laugh at this shit. You know, and yeah, I would have been laughing too. Like, what is she talking about here? Man, oh my goodness. And then, you know, putting sex clauses and prenups and stuff. This is weird, bro. This is stuff that it's supposed to happen organically in any relationship that I've ever been in and things like that, or any other people that I know that are married or have been married or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just organic, dude. Like, we trying to put all these new age terms on stuff, and this new age, you know, disgusting, pretty much, you know, financial way of living. Like, everything has to be what's the word I'm looking for here, man? It's got to be, you know, like a trick hole situation, damn near. You know, that wasn't. I was looking for a different word, but you get the point. It's crazy to me the way that things have gone, and you know, they promote this type of way of getting into relationships in today's society, and they think, you know, everybody think that's how this supposed to go. No, this is nothing how it's supposed to go. Good relationships will happen organically. And, you know, to put all these stipulations and compound this on top of this, and I got to have this and I got to do this. And then, you know, it's like, man, Jesus, man, what are we doing out here in this world? And that push present shit, Jesus Christ, that sounds so disgusting. And, you know, I agree with him on the back end. Like, you know, if you want to get your wife something, you know, y'all sharing a moment of, you know, you and your wife having your children or had your child at your birth, stuff like that. You get your wife something, you know, I agree with that. But you're supposed to want to do that out of kindness of your heart for your wife. It's not supposed to be a stipulation that you're supposed to get your wife a gift she demands that you get a gift for having y'all's children. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom